How we doing? How we doing, YouTube chat? I hope we're doing all so well, so amazing. I got you guys pulled up. We're not gonna forget about the YouTube chat this time because this is F the YouTube chat. This is the Archives podcast.
Twitch chat is the chat that always has a problem.
F the Twitch chat too while we're at it, you know? We'll just F every chat. Let's have fun with it. But welcome in, guys. This is the Archives podcast, episode number 53. You are watching live on the YouTube channel. You're watching live on twitch.tv. This is our new thing. We're gonna look with our heads down, and then we're gonna synchronize look up. Boom. Look at that. This is the Archives podcast. Just like Darth Maul, when those doors open and he just aura farms right there, dude. That's my guy. But we're back. We're back with the cameras. Surprisingly enough, my research did conclude that people did enjoy especially on Twitch. Jesus Christ, did people watch the hell, like the average view duration is what I'm going for here. On Twitch, the VOD average view duration for our, I think it was like a 100-minute podcast, 82 minutes. So people were watching.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we got like, episode 1 was our biggest weekly debut for downloads, and episode 2 was only 37 downloads behind it, but that's still like our third best ever, behind the literal first #1 episode. So we're on a roll. So let's keep it up. I got my iced tea with lemon. I got some water if things get really freaky. We have a Pepsi, 0 sugar, wild cherry, and cream. So let's keep things calm. I thought about having the content up on the screen, but I can't because we have to have Bolter on the screen. And for that reason, I'm going to be looking at my phone a lot. But it's only to have the topics and the chart of where we're going in the episode. But this is episode 53, season 4, episode 3. Obi-Wan Kenobi on the thumbnail. Had a lot of fun making that thumbnail. I was really trying to decide who the hell I wanted to do on the thumbnail, you know? It's a tough choice. It's a tough decision. It's not an easy thing to pick who goes on the thumbnail. It really is not. And I went with Obi-Wan because obviously this is Revenge of the Sith. And I feel like this movie is 1000%, even though of course it's the Anakin Skywalker saga. I feel like Revenge of the Sith is the Obi-Wan Kenobi episode. So I had to go with Obi-Wan on the thumbnail. But today we are talking about what I would, in one word, describe it as is the tragedy that is Revenge of the Sith. And for my money, I got the poster hanging right there. You can't really see it because of the blur. But for my money, I just think it really is one of the greatest third installments in cinema. Let alone, I think it's just one of the better movies in cinema. I really like it. But you just saw Marty Supreme. So you know all about peak Mog cinema.
It was a movie that had some actors in it, and they acted.
Yeah.
And they were recorded acting. It was one of those movies. No, it was good, but I'm excited to talk about this movie. This is This is probably one of my. It's not my favorites. It's not the number one Star Wars movie for me, but it is one of my favorites. I can sit down and watch the movie, and this is probably the Star Wars movie I have watched the most times.
And that's the contrast between you and I. This is of the 9, and that's even crazier. Of the 9, of the 11, this is probably the one I've seen the least. Because it's a tough watch. It really is. By the way, it's your boy 7. Thank you for 35 months subscribed with Prime. 35 months, 1 month away from the 3-year Big Daddy subscription. Shout out. And then thank you for the 5 stream streak as well. Don't forget, we are over on YouTube. Drop a like-ski, manike-ski on that. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and chuck them into the chat. I felt like because we actually had some compiled questions over the last 2 weeks, we only had a couple after the first week. And then the past week, we got 3 more. So we have 5 questions. I figured, why the hell not? Let's kick off the episode with the mailbag. People are here waiting to hear their answers. A big shout out, because a few of these people listen to the show on, I forgot the freaking, I meant to write it down too, of where these people are like listening in on and where they're messaging. But shout out, Star Wars TAP on X. You guys have been DMing the hell out of me, so thank you, appreciate it. I really do. Like, having mailbag questions is a absolute privilege, because it means people are listening.
No, these are great mailbag questions. I already read them. They're great. They're great questions.
They're very fun questions. There was a rage bait question that I did not include, and I told the guy that we're not doing this. And it was, is it a hot take to say that The Last Jedi is the most important Star Wars movie of all time? We're not going there, pal. This is the Revenge of the Sith episode. But the first question...
That's your rage bait, yeah.
It is. The first question is from Ben. Hot take. The prequels have better world building than the original trilogy. Agree or no?
So this is a very interesting one, and what I'll say is this. I think that the prequels capitalize and get to expound upon a lot of things that were mentioned and referenced and in passing, and got to further develop it. Because I think that overall, so I'd say yes, I agree, but I don't think it's just that, like, oh, George Lucas wasn't trying to world build.
Right.
It's just that when you're taking it back to a prequel, right? The I'd say that what you kind of have the difference is that the original trilogy falls in this kind of category of, he is trying to tell a story and get it to this point, and so his purpose is not to, and I don't think he necessarily intended at the very beginning for, I don't think George Lucas would have expected for Star Wars to be what it is now. That, like, you know, coming up on 50 years after he releases this movie,
yeah,
people would still talk about it, and it would still be the major cultural icon that it is, right? And so
right.
His goal was just to tell a story, right? But then you're coming back, you know, 15 years later, and you get to expound upon that story. And so yeah, I think it's natural that there is a lot more world building in the prequels, because you're cashing in on it. You're cashing in this opportunity to get to really tell all about this universe and get to really add even more flavor. Because I don't know if there was, you look at some of the flavor we get to see. We kind of talked about in these first movies, pod racing, you know, a bar, and there's sports on in this bar, right?
Yep.
It's adding so much flavor that we didn't necessarily have in the same way in the previous trilogy. And it's not a dog against that trilogy. It's just a difference in what the intent was with the films when they were being made.
Yep.
And so I'd say yes, I agree. It does have better world building, but it's because it's put in a different scenario when it's going to do that world building. Right.
And like you, really great point with the bar and the robot football that's on in the back, which is hilarious. I thought about that during, if you guys don't know, your Seattle Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl, and during the NFC title game, there was a very, very idiotic penalty from one of the Seattle Seahawks cornerbacks who made an excellent play, got up, started taunting, got a 15-yard automatic first down on 4th down. And Tom Brady made the remark to Kevin Burkhardt that, and this is why robots will never take our jobs as football players. And it made me think of, well, Tom, in a long time ago, galaxy far, far away, robots literally did, like droid football.
They already did.
Yeah.
Like your job is gone.
Your job is gone.
You were never born to see your job.
Yeah, like C3XO.
You should have put that. You should have put that on the Archives podcast Twitter. That would have been heat.
That would have been.
At Tom Brady.
I need to be so much more active on there, dude. I'll keep it a bean. I just hate Twitter. I really do. But shout out. Keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming.
I made a promise to myself when I downloaded Twitter that politics, not touching it, not following anyone that's any way involved in politics. You get involved in politics, I'm unfollowing you.
Which is crazy because this guy is so pro Empire. He is so pro Empire.
Sports Twitter is crazy. Even sports Twitter gets too insane sometimes.
I miss the old sports Twitter, man, when we would just argue and not. Oh man, it was so good. Shout out to like 2014 Twitter, dude. 2014 Twitter was sick. I was in like, I was a freshman in high school, just chilling on Twitter, like in class, in math class usually, because my math teacher didn't care about phones, especially if you had a good grade. And I used to rage bait people. Like, Allen Iverson's a much better defender than Michael Jordan. What are you talking about? Like, he had led the league in steals twice. Like, what are we doing? But suffice to say, yeah, the Twitter, we'll try and get at least a post a day. I think I could schedule a post a day. But like you said, with the world building, it was there. And when I got this question, I was stuck in between two minds, because Star Wars, which we'll cover in the next episode, I won't go too deep into it here. It was very, very ahead of its time for 1977. And that world literally had to be built, you know? I think apart from the politics and all that, because the politics were eradicated and we learned what happened with the politics in the first 10 minutes or so, the Imperial Senate is no more. We get to see the Imperial Senate and why everything happened, what led to everything. So I will say that the world building was colored in, but the original trilogy outlined everything. Is that a fair assessment? But that's not what they asked us. Yeah. That's not what they asked us. And we're not cowards. We're not running from an answer. The prequels have better world building than the original trilogy. Agree or no? Now, while a Sith only deals in absolutes, I will agree.
The irony of that statement is that statement is indeed an absolute. Obi-Wan is a Sith, confirmed.
I mean, dude,
only a Sith deals in absolutes is an absolute.
It is a very absolute. That's like saying all liars go to hell, you know? That was a huge one when I was a kid. Kids used to get in trouble for saying that at school after hearing it in church on Sunday. Like, oh, liars go to hell. My brother got detention for telling this kid that he's going to hell because he heard it in church. Man, it's a tough one. I feel like this is one of those that could be like a question on a Jubilee video, you know, where they go to different sides.
surrounded.
Even that.
One Star Wars nerd surrounded by 25 Star Trek fans.
Oh, I would cook. I would cook. I'll agree. The prequels have
video idea. We got you.
There we go. Yeah, just send me and Bolt and we'll take turns. We'll take shifts. Next question. Do you want to read this one?
Sure. It's from Tessa Kenobi. Shout out. Would you rather see fewer projects with higher quality or more experimental stories that take risks?
This one's easy for me, man. Fewer projects, higher quality. Absolutely. If I could get one movie every 2 or 3 years, and in between those, do a Disney Plus show, and maybe like once every 18 months throw in a video game, absolutely. Fewer, but better quality. Because, man, I think we've had experimental stories that take risks, and I wish they didn't. I really wish they didn't. 2 examples. Mandalorian season 3. They didn't need to continue that story. They should have finished Mandalorian after season 2. Now we have a movie coming out in 4 months. I'm gonna go see it, so I feel like a jackass for even putting, Mandalorian in this realm, but Acolyte, the High Republic. I'm glad that those stories are told. I want to say I'm glad that there's a fandom for it, but there really isn't. It doesn't sell that well. It doesn't do that well. Our old co-host Van Seal used to go to Star Wars celebrations, and the High Republic booths were empty, and the merch was full. There's stories to tell, sure. Tell all the stories you want, but quality over quantity, absolutely. What say you?
I think there's an interesting thing of like experimental stories that take risks. Is like, I mean, are they lower quality though? Because like I think like, again, you're getting into like higher quality and like being like risky and like being subjective, right? I think that if it's like, yeah, guaranteed, like this is a banger that like everyone loves, but like, if I remember correctly, Andor was not loved initially.
Nope.
The way it is.
Nope.
And it was kind of after the fact that we were like, wait, there's something really, really smart here. And then everyone kind of caught on, oh wait, this show is really sick, right? And I'm not saying that everyone just kind of like sheeped, like went full sheep and was like,
I will.
Oh, they're right, this show is really good, but like,
I'll say that.
Dude,
I swear to God, man, people did not like that show. They didn't like it pre-release. They didn't like it post-release.
I enjoyed it, and then I kind of, and I don't think I disliked it pre-release. I was just kind of like, why is this the story that we want to tell? And then I kind of watched it, and I was like, okay, this is cool, I guess. I mean, I will say, I was sitting on my hands pretty much every week to watch the new episode. Throughout season 1, and then season 2 was just like, I didn't care if I didn't have a TV to watch it on. I needed to watch it, so I'd watch it on my phone, bro. I was watching it on my phone because that's how much I wanted to watch Andor.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think the thing is like, how often is, these experimental stories versus, how often these fewer projects, right? Because if these fewer projects of higher quality are like, say, I have to wait as long between anything of significance like I did from I think the gap between season 1 and season 2 of Andor was 2022 to 2025, like 3 years.
Thereabouts, yeah.
If I have to wait 3 years for every banger, right? I didn't have to quite wait 3 years for every banger, but like, let's say it was 2 years.
That's
right?
a tricky one though, to play devil's advocate. It is a tricky one because the strike. There's like that 14 months writer strike.
Yes, but like I guess my thing is like it depends on how.
But I get your point. Yeah.
on how many projects fewer, right? Because if it's I'm only getting my dose of Star Wars, and it's even if it's really really good Star Wars, if it's maybe say I get 3 major productions a decade, right? Then I think I have to have concern for, are people going to continue caring in the same way? Whereas I think right now they're kind of in the I think, well, I can say personally, I might prefer that as a Star Wars fan, because it means I'm getting I'm getting really, really good quality Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I just want there to be Star Wars.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think I think the world we live in, right? Look at the way look at the YouTube meta. Look at the Instagram meta. The meta is not necessarily for a lot of people. Now, some people have achieved it, but in general, it is not. I post one absolutely phenomenal video every 3 months or even once a month.
Yeah.
I have to post a very high quality video once a week, 2 times a week.
Once a day.
Right? Some are pumping out videos daily, right? They have to stay relevant. They have to keep posting because they have to stay relevant. They have to build that watch time.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously Star Wars granted, Star Wars and YouTube is Hollywood and YouTube are 2 completely different businesses. But at the end of the day, you are fighting for eyes. And if you were not drawing eyes, if people kind of forget about you and don't care about you, no one's giving you money to make your movie.
Nope.
No one's gonna put that movie out in theaters. No one's gonna want to give you. No actor's gonna want to sign with it and waste their time when they could go, chase the bag and go make some money somewhere else.
Yeah, and a good example of the quality that you were talking about was George Lucas. Like, within a 9-year span, he was able to put out the first Star Wars and the entire original Star Wars trilogy, and I want to say the first Indiana Jones in a 9-year span. So that's quality, especially self-financed. The prequel trilogy was 99, 02, 05. So a nice little, I think he started working on all of them in 94. So that's like an 11-year gap with all those. But I think I'm on board with you, actually, since you explained it so eloquently. You do just want content. And then in my head, I was like, my fear is, what if they run out of content? Because eventually, I know they're going to shatter the glass, and they're going to pull out the Old Republic, and Timothy Chalamet is going to play Revan, and we're going to go there.
The idea of Jar Jar is empty.
I don't think that the idea jar is empty at all.
I don't think that should happen.
I hope not.
I don't believe that should happen, because if they see Star Wars the way that I think the two of us see Star Wars, then that idea jar is not a jar. It is an ocean.
Yep.
Right? Because you have so many things you can do. You don't have to stick. You can go somewhere that we didn't even know you could go.
Right.
Right? That's the beauty of it. That's what they did, honestly, with to some extent with Skeleton Crew.
Dude, yeah.
Skeleton Crew was the most removed thing from Star Wars that we've had in Star Wars.
True.
I mean, no major character
Suburbia
references that I can remember, really.
Yeah.
We got Star Wars, middle class neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like what? Like, it was so different. And the only real thing that kind of reminded you of, like, the only way you could tell at what point in time you even were on the timeline was New Republic X-Wings.
Yep. And
really
mentions of the New Republic,
and mentions of the New Republic.
Oh, you never heard of no Atatin.
And you don't have as much of a, like, it's been about this long, right? There's no, like, oh, well, this person looks about this many years older.
Right.
So it's probably been about this long since, Endor, since the Empire fell, right? You don't have any of that. It's kind of just, oh, the New Republic just exists. We have no clue necessarily where we are because it's so removed. That's not the important part. All that stuff happening is not the important part of that show. and I'll kind of talk about this more a bit with one of the other questions. But I mean, I guess the other thing I'd say is like, I would love to see more higher quality, fewer higher quality projects, but I think it depends on what that quality is, and also like, which projects are we referring to, right? Is it just fewer?
There we go. Cool.
Oh, what?
My Discord was lagging like a mug, so I just switched the regions.
Oh, okay, cool. So, kind of get back to what I was saying, which is that if we're talking purely on screen, so TV shows, movies, so Disney Plus original series, and then in theater movies,
I think you have to include video games. I think you have to include video games.
They're so big.
Yeah.
If that's all that's getting reduced, then I think I can hit it. I think I can take that. But if it's everything, if it's Star Wars books, if it's Star Wars comics, right? If it's literally everything that we're getting less of, then I think it falls back into that more. No, we just need Star Wars. I think we just want to have Star Wars.
Right, and that's.
I want us to keep telling stories, and I don't think, because again, it's what's the purpose of the higher quality, right? And like, what do we mean by higher quality? Are we just saying, higher quality filmmaking, right? Because we're just talking higher quality filmmaking.
There's The Last Jedi, baby.
Like you can, I mean, The Last Jedi has good CGI. It has good actors, right? The story sucks.
Story's
right? So is
buns.
So it's what do you want to be the higher quality, and what do you want to sacrifice?
Right.
I'd say if it's good writing, I'll sacrifice anything over good writing. But I think you don't have to sacrifice any. I don't think you have to sacrifice anything to get good writing. Well, I'd say. Let me backtrack that. If all you care about is good writing, if that's what you want, nothing else needs to be good. If the writing is good, you don't need anything else.
Correct.
In my opinion.
Correct.
I mean, granted, this movie is way ahead of its time, right? In terms of what it was able to do visually, but Star Wars just has good writing. The original Star Wars just has good writing. And yes, the visual effects for its time are way ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah.
But even now you go back, that ain't nothing. What they did in Star Wars 1977 is like cavemen banging rocks together compared to what we do now.
Absolutely.
Right? And how a Star Wars movie is made now.
Yeah.
But it's still a beautiful movie, and in fact, I actually don't care. Like, I don't find myself nitpicking at like, oh hey, this doesn't look as good, right? And I don't think it's me. I don't think it's necessarily me like allowing it to not look good because I recognize that it's older. It's because it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
I think there's also a beauty in that. I think it actually, in some ways, visually, the older Star Wars at certain points, not all of them, because there are some things where it's of course not going to look as good, and the CGI has gotten better. But the fact that a lot of that is a physical, real life, handmade miniature. The fact that you are not just looking at something that someone animated and 3D modeled, and they just did all the texturing to make it light, look like bounce off of it real, did all these super advanced renders. But you're looking at a physical thing that was recorded with a real camera, and I think there is something
by real human beings.
That looks.
Yeah, by
real human beings, and so I don't know.
This is like where my.
This is a very deep topic. I mean, I don't know what to say, honestly. I think there's a lot of, so I think it kind of depends on what we mean by higher quality.
I also want to
big cop out.
Sure,
but like
I also want to give my rebuttal too for why I was also originally, because you were almost, you're skating around it, right? You're skating around it. AI. I don't want anything to do with AI, but this is where I want to move on to the next question, because I have a feeling that this might be a controversial take. Sam the Rams fan, shout out L Nerd. If George Lucas had full control today, do you think Star Wars would be better or worse? I think George Lucas would find a way to incorporate AI. And because he's always been ahead of the curve with technology, with technological advances in cinema and movies and stuff. I just think that George would be so on top of it and use it to its fullest entail to get the most out of it. However, I don't think Star Wars would be better off. I don't.
I mean, did you see what was put out at D20? I think it was at D23. Did you see the panel that they had about Star Wars and AI?
Mm-mm.
Did you see the images?
I did not.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for those of you who missed it, a couple weeks ago, I can't remember where this was. There was a panel, and they were talking about how AI is going to help filmmakers and all this stuff, and it's some guy from Disney, and they're like all acting really excited about it. And at the end, they are showing pictures of like an AI generating of images and AI generated of like creatures to populate like a new Star Wars planet.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that these were shown unironically with excitement was saddening.
I'm trying to find it, but
if you see something that looks so bad, if it looks like it's being seen through macro binoculars, and they look so absurd that this cannot be serious, you probably found the right thing.
Are we talking about like the what do they call it? The volume?
No, this is not the volume.
Okay. You'll have to show it to me. Oh, is it with the animals?
Yes, the animals.
Okay, yeah, I did see those.
Yes.
And that was like Lucasfilm's AI, right?
Yes. For anyone who like needs to, this is what they served up unironically as this is the future.
A peacock snail.
Peacock snail.
Yeah.
Alligator turtle. Tiger polar bear in a green environment.
Yeah, I remember those.
The whole point of the polar bear being white is that it lives in the snow.
Uh-huh.
And you can't see it. Weirdly colored lion creature. Like, these were shown unironically. They thought these were good.
They thought they were really good.
And AI just stuck two animals together. They put a filter over it and they said, ooh, yeah. Alien creature.
Yeah, that I do remember. So, oh man. So I think that it would be in a better spot because I know that they just opened up, they invested in Sora. They invested $2 billion in Sora to let Disney Plus subscribers create Sora videos with their favorite Star Wars characters. I think Star Wars as a brand would be better off. However, I think that Star Wars, the stories that we're getting, I don't think we would have gotten these stories if George was still in charge.
Yeah.
Stories of The Mandalorian season 1, 2, Andor, Cal Kestis. Those three are what I hang my hat on as when people say, how do you like Disney Star Wars? The Mandalorian, Andor, Cal Kestis. Those three do not exist if it's just George deciding if he wants to make Star Wars. You don't even like talk about Kylo Ren. I'm writing look at all that, man. Look at all of that. Those are all individual sticky notes. Every color is a different character, man. Like, you don't get that if Kylo Ren doesn't exist. So I think George was leaning out of the movies, which is crazy because he's a movie maker, he's a filmmaker. But then I hear reports that George had a production crew, had everything ready to go, and was about to shoot the sequel, his sequel trilogy. But then he got seduced by Bob Iger to sell. And I think Star Wars is in a better place for it. That's not to say that George Lucas is the maker. Absolutely he is. But would we still have Star Wars, or would it really just be, books and the odd video game coming out? Because was it just the Lego games that were coming out at that point when George was still around?
Oh no, George was still around. When did George sell? Wasn't that in like 2009?
2012.
2012? I mean, I guess when we got Bounty Hunter while he was still around.
Yeah.
Right? We got, I believe, Force Unleashed, at least some of them, right?
Both
Force Unleashed before he left.
Yeah, and I think the Force Unleashed, I was in like...
OG Battlefronts. All the OG Battlefronts.
That finished in 2005.
Yeah, so movies were still relevant. The movies were currently relevant.
Right. And I think it was just the Lego games. We got the Old Republic, and the Clone Wars was still coming out. So then Lego Clone Wars. I don't know what George's idea was for the Clone Wars, because season 6 was not supposed to be the end. They wanted to do 14 seasons, James Arnold Taylor said. Yeah.
It's crazy. Man, what I would do with 8 more seasons of Clone Wars.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about to get it. We're going to pause the mailbag right here because I've not watched the Maul Shadow Lord trailer just yet, and I'm going to watch it on my phone. I'm going to count down and tell you guys when to press play. I'm watching.
I don't think I watched it in full. I think I cut off a bit at the end because I was just like, okay, cool, trailer. I'm gonna wait to watch till later in full because I was like on Instagram. Let me find this.
I'm gonna watch the Star Wars and Disney Plus. So that's the thumbnail, and I'll probably
3.6 million views, posted 6 days ago, 1 minute 48 seconds long.
3.6 million views is sad. I'm sure someone has brought that up. I'm really sure. What is the Clone Wars Season 7 trailer? 8.5. So that's not terrible. Where'd the Bad Batch get?
Which one is that? Because the original, like, I remember the when they dropped the Clone Wars, like, we're making Clone Wars Season 7 announcement trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That one where it was like all the clone helmets. That one was insane.
Official trailer is 8.6 million. But if you compare it to the Bad Batch, which is a perfect comparable, Bad Batch trailer 4 years ago, 3.6 million. So maybe I'm being a little harsh on the Maul one. Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, 17 million. So that I would say that's not bad at all. I was gonna say, can it be 10% of Mandalorian? But it's 20% of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Mandalorian was mainstream. So yeah, we'll take it, bro. We'll take it. Maul Shadow Lord. And I'm sure after watching this, it'll shoot up to at least, it's at 3.6 million. I'm sure after people listen to this episode, it'll go up to like 4 million. Right?
Yeah.
So here we go. I've got it pulled up. I'm on 000, and I'll mute myself so you guys don't hear it. But on the count of 3, I'm going to press play. 1, 2, 3.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
Then I will avenge his death.
Whoa.
All right, so much to say about that, dude. Holy.
Lightsabers freaking cut people again.
Honestly.
Lightsabers are actual laser swords again. Amen and amen. Oh, that was such a banger trailer.
Bodies
Oh my gosh.
bodies are in half, dude. Like,
Yeah, no that. Oh yeah.
shout out first and foremost, shout out Sam Witwer, friend of the podcast. Shout out Sam Witwer. We'll hopefully try and get Sam on around the release of Maul Shadow Lord. I'll reach out to his people and see if they'll let him on a little podcast like this. Hey, Sammy, how you doing? Dude.
Hey, one of the top comments on this trailer is that lightsaber throw the stormtroopers was insane. So we're not the only ones who are like that was dope.
I thought the water was sick. That they were pouring into the cup. Like, the water physics, outrageous.
And
the hair physics, outrageous.
They have taken this animation style that they used for the Clone Wars, and they were just like, since you guys like it so much, we're gonna pour more money into making it look even better with like modern rendering and stuff. And it's better, and you can tell it's better, but it's not like we like. But it doesn't lose the same feel it had.
No.
Like it's still enough the same to where it's like
it just helps it be a little more immersive for adults, I feel.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because we grew up on it, and I think that's the beauty of the Clone Wars. Is that you and I were youngsters. Yeah, you were 08. You're what, like 5?
I was born in 06, bro.
You're 2. Okay. So 08 is like where people who are having kids now are watching this show and their kids. So like we are still fans of it because it's not aging badly. Like you go back and you watch season 1 when Anakin moves like this in the background. It's tough. But you love it because it's Star Wars. It's like going back and playing a PlayStation 2 game that you loved so much. And you remember like Albert Pujols being lifelike, and you go back and his face is literally like 4 polygons, but it's Albert Pujols. Compared to now where, I mean, MLB The Show's graphics kind of stink, but it's it's the only comp I had at the point. But it looks so good. Darth Talon is canon now. Shout out. We love it.
Heck yeah.
So this is George Lucas's sequel trilogy, by the way. That's what this is. That was George's idea for the sequels, was to focus around Maul. And Maul Shadow Lord's not going to be a 1 or 2 season thing. It's supposed to be a fair few seasons. And we're supposed to get some really cool things for it. Later on, I think the podcast before it comes out, and we'll probably keep these on Wednesdays because it works pretty well. April... It comes out on a Monday. Yeah, April 6th. So we'll have a nice prediction episode on April Fool's Day where we'll give our last and final predictions before going into the show. Watch parties will be back.
I'm gonna be out of town when this drops, I think.
Yeah. He's always out of town. But
get ready. You have no. You say Wednesdays? I'm about to go on one of them work trips. I don't know what my schedule will be like for recording the.
No, true, yeah. But it'll be cool to have like sit down reviews and breakdowns and share our thoughts on that week's episode for a show that should be around for a while. I'm really excited. This is like the first, because you weren't on the pod before Andor, and that's the last thing that's came out, I think, right?
Major thing. I can't remember. Was Skeleton Crew before or after Andor?
Before.
It was before, but okay, because I couldn't remember. Because I think either way, it probably would not have got. It would not. It did. It was the classic, like, releasing a shooter around the time that COD's coming out. Like, no one gives a crap. The new COD just came out. It's like,
yeah.
No one gives a crap. Either the new Andor season's about to come out, or the new Andor season just came out. Why are you even showing me this? I just want to rewatch Andor and talk about Andor, right?
Yeah.
So I will forever stand on Skeleton Crew to not get the love it deserves, and Solo Star Wars Stories not get the love it deserves because it was preceded by the worst Star Wars movie, the worst Star Wars.
Objectively.
Okay, I was gonna say the worst Star Wars thing ever, but Acolyte also exists, so we'll just stick with this worst Star Wars movie for right now.
That's fair. I think the worst Star Wars thing ever, before we move on to the next mailbag question, by the way, like we haven't even talked about Revenge of the Sith yet, man. And I guess to wrap up and answer your question, Sam, yes. I think the worst Star Wars thing ever.
The Christmas special. I'm joking.
I would say, genuinely, and this might be a really silly take, but stopping the live service to Battlefront 2. I think that's the worst thing that they've ever done. I think if they kept Battlefront 2 going, like, you can incorporate microtransactions and do things properly, do things smart. You can drop heroes and stuff and drop skins for them that people have to snag. But
you're EA. You know you can microtransaction the absolute ever living crap out of people.
Right. And
but you're great at EA.
Yeah, we're Swiggle players, so we get it.
We're Swiggle players. We know. we know CGB doing. We know the way CGB running because of EA.
L asks, do you think Star Wars should move permanently away from the Skywalker timeline, or are they too stuck there, nostalgia bait wise? I agree that they're stuck nostalgia wise, but I think that they should detach, move the claw machine, drop the claw machine wherever they land. That's where we build. It's like, let's enter in a random seed and see where we get. And based on that seed, that's the story that we'll tell. We'll tell a brand new timeline with a brand new mythological story that we follow, and we guess what? We inspire hope again, but we just tell a completely different story. Why can't we do that? We have the vehicle, we have the galaxy, we have the timeline. Why is everything in this narrow 75-year window so far?
Yeah, I mean, we have a framework for what stuff is supposed to look like. I think we have less of a framework for post the Skywalker saga than there was previously. I mean, you go back, say, 15, you go back a little over a decade now to before the sequel trilogy came out, right? There was a pretty well-established lore for what happened post Endor, right? We had stuff like Yuzong Vong War, right? I think I'd be very interested in, seeing what happens now after, as much as I hate it, go 20, 30, 40, 50 years after
why not 100?
freaking Rise of Skywalker. Show me what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Show me what's going on in the galaxy 150 years after the Battle of Endor, right? After the Battle of Yavin, right?
Yep.
But furthermore, show me what's going on 200 years before it, right? No Sith, fine, and don't show me the Jedi, don't show me the Sith, show me just some random planet and what's going on that planet, and what's going on in that star system, in the adventures and the challenges that these people face doing whatever it is they're trying to do or whatever they encounter, right?
Right.
Show me that.
I really wanted to do that so bad with my book, so I did. I'm writing this chapter still, and a little known planet. I'm not going to even mention it because it barely gets mentioned ever. It literally gets name dropped. That is it. I built the entire planet. I got to have fun on it, and
Huge.
I sent you the picture when I was doing it, but
Yes.
my Wi-Fi stunk so bad that it didn't send when I was actually doing it. But I made a language for these people.
Oh no, you sent it to me twice.
Oh, so you did get it the original time?
Yes, I did get it the original time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I responded with fire. This is what I'm up to, and then this is you the picture of my seats.
Oh, okay, so it did send. Cool.
Yeah, no, this is this is fire.
I expanded upon it too, so it's not just that, but like I created an entire language that people use, sentence structures, how they speak, slang, numbers, names, associations, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, nouns, pronouns. It's fully functional. Like
This is sick. Building your own language is cool.
right, and I was super inspired by Tony and Dan Gilroy, who sat down and they said that they created the Gorman language out of nowhere, and like it's fully functional as well. And they said that they did it in like either 48 hours or a week. It took them a week or something. I want to say it was the 48 hours. And man, like, yeah, if you really want to, you can. And I really wanted to. I wanted to pick a random ass system that is on the galaxy map. I would feel like such an asshole if I just went and said, oh, here's Ticotopia. That's my new planet in my new Star Wars book. I would feel like such a self-asserting asshole that, like, there's no way that planet exists that you just created out of nowhere. I mean, EA did it well because they put it in a far off spot in the unknown regions with Tanalorr. And Tanalorr is one of my favorite planets ever. And then Peredia in the Ahsoka show is in a different galaxy. So there's a whole ass galaxy to explore if you can get there. But with my book, I wanted to build the world that is Star Wars. And my entire book's purpose is to just be like a lifter unit for Star Wars and tell the story of it and what the hell's going on this random, like you said, random system what's going on the system, what the people are doing on this system, on this world, on this planet, what their story is. And it's been so fucking fun. It's been so fucking fun. So that's our answer, Elle. I hope you liked our answer to that question. Final question of the mailbag. If Lucasfilm wiped the slate clean and started fresh, what's the one rule you'd want them to follow? Give me that in a one sentence answer, Bolt. If Lucasfilm wiped the slate clean and started fresh, what's the one?
Wipe the slate clean. What does that mean? What do we keep? What makes that? You're asking me in essence, what makes Star Wars Star Wars? I think is what this question really is.
No, I think by slate, they mean like everything that they're working on right now, and they said all of it's canceled. Everything that we've ever announced is canceled. We're starting fresh. What's the one rule that they'd have to follow? I think I know mine, but I'll let you go.
Tell me what is happening in the Star Wars galaxy and do not be self-referential. Because there is so much more story to tell. And because there's so much story to tell, being self-referential, while it's great for nostalgia bait, is ridiculous in practicality. In terms of what actually makes sense for the universe. So you don't be, because you don't have to be, because you have a beautiful universe to tell stories in. Use it and use all of it.
Yeah.
Because you've been given a lot to work with.
You bought it all. You didn't just buy a couple planets, a couple names.
You didn't just buy Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and the right to sell collapsible plastic lightsabers to children.
Right. You bought the people of Guangding. Like, you bought Duros. You bought all these different people. Like, look at all these freaking planets that are on my RPG creator. You have all those planets.
Oh yeah, I need to finish building that randomizer for you. That you just hit a button, it spits it all out for you.
Yeah. What are my homies doing on Korbori, bro? What are my homies doing on Mindor? What are my buddies doing on Grimdock or Kamini or Mon Gaza? Let's not go to Gaza these days.
Yeah, what? I was like, what?
What are my homies doing on Coke Frost? Like, someone couldn't...
No, what? That was not... that. You made that one up.
I did not. Coke Frost. Here, let me drop that so you can kind of maybe see it. Coke Frost.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the guy could not, for the life of him, think of a planet's name. So he went
and
to
it was
the
cold as heck outside.
Yeah, where he kept his Coca-Colas.
Garage, and there was and the Coke in his garage froze, and so he had a Coke slushy, but the syrup had separated from the carbonated water.
Yep.
And it was just nasty.
And it was Coke Frost. Let's go there. Let's go to those places. Shout out to the hour-long mailbag segment. Send your questions in, guys. We appreciate you.
We might just have to do like a mini pod at some point. That's just mailbag and not try and roll this all in together. Yeah,
Christ Almighty. Let's go really quickly through the news, and then we'll talk about Revenge of the Sith. So, in the time that we talked last, Kathleen Kennedy stepped down from Lucasfilm. And in her place, I think he's the chief content officer, Dave Filoni.
I'm a fake Star Wars. I'm a fake Texan. I don't have a freaking cowboy hat to put on.
You don't have a cowboy hat?
No, I don't. I don't have a cowboy hat.
Okay.
I don't have any
so we need to get Star Wars TAP.
I've never shot a gun. I'm a fake Texan, bro.
But you voted for Trump. So like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You voted for Palpatine. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, and Dave Filoni is stepping in as the chief content officer, while Lynwyn Brennan is the business side of things. I don't know what her exact role is, but they're co-presidents now of Lucasfilm. Shout out. And man, I think it's been a long time coming. I think this should have been the case when Kathleen originally lost control of things. I think Dave probably could have done a really good job at bringing things back. But Dave Filoni's our guy, friend of the program, friend of the show. We'll see if we can get Dave on after the first season of Maul Shadow Lord, so we can hear his thoughts, where the story's going. Like, I'll hit up Dave's people.
What a joy it'd be to talk to someone like Dave Filoni, because, I mean, again, just because someone who loves Star Wars the way he does, I think that Dave, I think more than some of the other people, especially I think Kathleen Kennedy, I think Dave does see Star Wars for what it is, because because of how close he was with George and the relationship he had with George, and I think this was like destiny. I think Dave Filoni started down this path a very, very long time ago, and it just always was meant to be that at some point Dave Filoni would not just be viewed as, I think he's the true heir. He's the heir to the Empire, right? I think he is the true successor to George Lucas.
Rule of two.
I don't think anyone else could be.
Yeah, rule of two. One man to have the power and an apprentice to crave it. But in this case,
exactly.
I bet
he got undercut for a while. But I mean,
eventually usurped.
I think it should probably be expected that, in the way it goes with a lot of these things, where kind of how, like, in sports, right? The current commissioner, head of the league or whatever, usually was like mentored by the previous commissioner, right? And I think in the same way, whoever follows around Dave Filoni, right? Whoever is always seeming to be present, like all these people who are involved in these projects that are under him, that are younger than him, right? Watch for one of them to be the next, right? Is what I'd say. Because I think the way that I think George kind of passed his knowledge and his love and his desire and his hopes for this universe onto Dave, I think Dave's going to pass on to someone else. And I'm glad that Dave is finally here, because Dave's going to do a great job.
Oh, yeah.
The space cowboy.
Yeah. I think I'm going to apply to some Lucasfilm gigs. Why not? That'd be fun. But shout out to Dave Filoni, man. Like, just content-wise, and like you said, someone who loves Star Wars, someone who has a really great creative mind for it. I hate when people slander this guy, because Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, Tales, Ahsoka. I'm sorry, but like, he's batting 5 for 5 with, he's already hit for the cycle, and he's got a 2-run home run at the same time. Like, he's 5 for 5. And you think of all the things that Dave has done elsewhere with The Mandalorian, and I just think, man, this is the guy that we want. And like my boy Star Wars Theory said at one point, Dave was the master, or George was the master to Dave's apprentice. And he thinks that George was grooming Dave for this. Through the entirety of the Clone Wars, you hear the cast on podcasts and stuff saying, like, George was always there and Dave was always with him, and the two of them collaborated so deeply on the Clone Wars. I think that's also why it's so good, because it's the continuation of the story, and I think we're really getting that. And it's really nice to have Dave back. It's nice to have Dave back where he belongs, at the top of the helm, So big shout out. Big shout out. This will be a nice, easy, just a little announcement seg, but award season continues, and there are a lot of awards coming out soon. Award shows, different awards. The Writers Guild of America nominated Andor in 5 categories. Best Drama. The other nominees include The Pit, Severance, White Lotus, and Pluribus. Don't watch them. Don't watch them. Just kidding. I bet they're great.
Solid. The Pit's solid.
I bet they're fantastic. My girlfriend loves Severance. Tony Gilroy and his team face steep competition in this category. Andor is a show that has typically fared well with writers. It was already very highly successful at the Emmys last year, even though it did get snubbed a couple of times. But Dan Gilroy won Best Writing for a drama series, which, shout out. That's how good it was. It won a Best Writing award. At the Saturn Awards, it got nominated for a few more. Best Science Fiction Television Series, so it should absolutely win that. Best Actor in a TV Series, Diego Luna. He won't win. And I think it might be because he's Mexican. I think it might be.
Is he Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out though. God, he's a good actor. I watched him in
He's
a couple.
good. I think the odd thing is I would personally say I don't think he's gonna win because I don't think he's the star of that show, even though because he's not meant to be in the weird way. He like is, but he isn't.
Sure.
It's one of the beautiful things about that show is that
Yeah.
he's like, even though he's the main character, they don't try to like.
If the show
make him
was called
shine
The
in way
Rebellion,
other shows.
it'd be so different.
Exactly, but like he's like the main character, but he isn't, and it's like a beautiful way because it tells his story.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like in some ways it's I just love the show because it's so different.
Yeah. I mean, like there's 24 characters in the first season, and they all come together in the finale.
Yeah.
After we see them everywhere else in the galaxy. So it's sick. It's so sick. And I just think he's gonna get a snub, but his acting was absolutely incredible. I just think that these award people have their heads so far up their ass. I don't know. But I think
who else got nominated for it and what for? Like I think that'd be my question. Like
we have a few more. Best Supporting Actor in a TV Series, Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, he might win that.
Best Supporting Actress in a Television Series, Denise Gow, or Gao. I think it's Gao.
It's Gao.
And Genevieve O'Reilly. Mon Mothma. They're both incredible. They're both incredible. They're both very strong women that are in a man's world, and they're kicking ass and doing so with very grounded writing and incredible acting, bringing those characters to life. Huge shout out to who is coming to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Dedra Miro. Can't wait. That's gonna be tight. That'll be the next era in Galaxy of Heroes, and I was already half kind of predicting that our boy Cassian Andor was going to be a galactic legend, and if we get a couple eras of Andor, which I think that we're gonna get based on a literal Variety article, like Variety, dude.
Dude, John Cena is one of the nominees for Best Actor in a Television Series for Peacemaker.
Who knows, man?
Man.
Who knows, man?
Let's see. Who we got to get in the supporting actor category?
Who's
Hey, Jude Law got nominated. I think you said that though, didn't you?
No, I was about to. There's a few for the skeleton
Jude
crew.
Law was also nominated for Best Actor, Supporting Actor in a Television Series.
I don't know how to say the kid's name, but Ravi Cabot Conyers, Best Younger Performer. in a television series. And that was for Skeleton Crew. And then Tales of the Underworld was nominated for Best Animated Television Series or Event. That could possibly win. I can't imagine that animation's going crazy these days. But, yeah, who knows? But, yeah, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, huge news. The next era, going from the era of Anniversary, we're going to era of Andor, baby.
Heck yeah.
I've been so excited for this. I've been
waiting for these characters for so long, bro.
Right, and
I want an ISB faction, dude. An ISB faction with freaking, like, Dedra Miro.
Did you see the
Yularen finally? Callus, please. Why is Callus not in this video game yet?
Honestly,
give me Callus, give me Yularen, give me Miro.
But he honestly needs to come in as like a Phoenix lifter at this point.
I would be down with that. I think just give us both. Give us 2 variants of him, please.
Yeah,
we deserve both. Both would be fire.
That'd be so sick for Garazeb.
Especially because ISB Agent Callus has such a sick visual. Like he was just a very visually he was a new thing in that show.
He had that new bucket.
That new bucket.
Yeah.
Buckets. Greatest derogatory term for stormtroopers. I think of, I don't know, clankers or buckets. Which is better?
I think buckets is better. Clankers are so played out though.
Yeah, I think recent the whole recent AI boom and everyone the entire pop culture co-opting clanker like it's theirs as if it doesn't belong to Star Wars.
But I will say
has ruined it.
Calling someone a clanker in Battlefront 2 is very fun. But so far we have 2 characters that are guaranteed with Major Partagaz and Dedra Miro. I don't know if you saw those in the article.
Those yet.
Yeah, in the show run there's an article by Variety talking about Galaxy of Heroes, by the way,
which is crazy.
So
in the year 2026.
Right. So don't blame me for thinking that
for not killing this game.
Yeah. But don't blame me for thinking that Cassian Andor is going to be a galactic legend when there's a literal Variety article about the era of Andor. Like, it gets that simple. And I'm sure we got the announcement here. I'm sure we'll get the literal Swigo blog post soon with all the details about it. Probably as soon as tomorrow. So if we do, I'll make a video for that and get that out ASAP like Rocky. But we're huge Andor fans. We are Andorks. Like, it's one of my favorite shows, man. I got to be honest.
So good. I need to schedule a rewatch of two shows. The entirety in chronological order of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yep.
And then Andor. And then you have 3 shows. I need to go back and rewatch all of Rebels.
Yeah, and I was doing the math.
Rebels is what got me. It's what hooked me on Star Wars. Because again, reminding you guys that came out in 2014. I was like 8. So timeline wise makes sense.
Yeah.
And like, man, dude, I just have such strong memories with that show. Like I think that show will continue to be. I think Star Wars Rebels will probably be one of the first Star Wars things I will have to show to my kids one day.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing with
one of the most kid-friendly Star Wars things, at least earlier on.
Yeah, I mean, Young Jedi Adventures, I've seen it for my nephew. That's very cartoony.
Yeah, that's like that, but that's like.
Yeah, like first proper.
Star Wars Bluey, dude.
First Star Wars proper.
Like this is real Star Wars that actually matters.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think there's any real lore implications of Young Jedi Adventures.
Yeah, we did the math, you guys. If we cover the 2 intermediary movies as well in chronological order. This season 4, will finish the last Wednesday of March, meaning that season 5 of the podcast, talking about TV shows, would be debuting on the 1st of April, which would be the Maul Shadow Lord episode. Meaning that the podcast after, because Homeboy's going on vacation, meaning that would give us some time to do some rewatches, get some things under our belt, because if the 8th, let's say, is Clone Wars, right, that would give us some time to watch the Clone Wars. Something else is the 15th, the 22nd, the 29th, the 6th, the 13th could be the Mandalorian, which then the 19th is the movie. So things could work out pretty well for us. And not to say that we're going to rewatch everything, but
yeah, that's a big time commitment.
Yeah, we're just going to
7 seasons of Clone Wars and about, I mean, what you got 5 22 episode seasons plus 2 12 episode seasons, so that comes out to 110 plus 24 more, comes out to about 134ish episodes, give or take, plus a movie.
Yeah, so you got
all of them being about 22 minutes long. So for every 3 episodes, you're talking about an hour. So you're looking at roughly
40 hours of content.
40-ish hours-ish, about 40, 45-ish hours, give or take.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm sure,
Clone Wars.
I'm sure Google AI scraper bot could probably tell me really fast.
49 hours. 49 hours. Why is the total runtime about? We don't have a number? What are we doing?
Yeah, is you getting the AI overview of 50 to 65 hours?
Yeah, and then
it's at 133 episodes. So I'd like to say, did I not say 134? Was I not pretty close?
you were close. Yeah, you were pretty close.
I was off by 1. I guess I got one number of episodes wrong somewhere, I guess. Someone on Reddit said it's 3,366 minutes or 56.1 hours. If you hold on. If you add the if you add the Clone Wars movie and the prequel trilogy, that makes 3,882 minutes or 64.7.
Okay, so 64 hours of content. Yeah, and I mean, we have literally over a couple months. So
yeah, to watch all of it.
Yeah, I'll probably catch up.
Hey, do you have a guide for watching it chronologically? If not, I highly recommend watching it chronologically, because going back and rewatching the show chronologically is awesome.
Yeah, there's if you can Google it, and StarWars.com has one. Hey, Disney Plus, how about we figure it out?
You could do it. You have the capabilities to do it.
Make a playlist. It's that easy. Like, what are we doing? Let us make playlists. Assholes. Like, why can't we make a playlist on Disney Plus?
Stop serving me AI. Just let me watch my show.
Outrageous, bro.
All right, I think it's time to talk about Revenge of the Sith now that we're like an hour and a half plus into this thing.
Right. So let's do this. Episode 3. Revenge of the Sith. By George Lucas, released 2005, had a $113 million budget, brought home $905.6 million from the box office. I think it was the second best toy selling movie of the 6, and had its own video game. Was a wonderful and sensational movie. The 6th installment from George Lucas's Star Wars, and perhaps one of, like, I call it like a rose because it's so beautiful, yet there's still some pain to it, because ultimately it was George Lucas's final movie, unless you want to say the Clone Wars movie and the Clone Wars. But the Clone Wars movie was just 4 episodes edited together. So I can't really give it the credit for that, but it was George Lucas's last Star Wars movie that he made, and that's the bitter side to it. But let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Do I have it?
The book?
Yes.
Are you gonna read the end? Are you gonna read the prologue from the book?
Yes. Yes. Here it is.
Excellent. I was gonna suggest that, actually.
Not just the book, good sir.
Oh, that's beautiful.
The special edition of the book. Where is it? There we go. This is what it feels like to be Anakin Skywalker forever. Insane cover art. Like, it's so crazy.
That's so sick.
It is so sick. Shout out to Matthew Stover, the writer of this book. And if you guys don't, get a copy. Physical media is so important. It's everything, man. It is everything. This story happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It is already over. Nothing can be done to change it. It is a story of love and loss, brotherhood and betrayal, courage and sacrifice, and the death of dreams. It is a story of the blurred line between our best and our worst. It is a story of the end of an age. A strange thing about stories, though this all happened so long ago and so far away that words cannot describe the time or the distance, it is also happening right now, right here. It is happening as you read these words. This is how 25 millennia come to a close. Corruption and treachery have crushed 1,000 years of peace. This is not just the end of a republic. Night is falling on civilization itself. This is the twilight of the Jedi. The end starts now. Super solid. It really just ties you in instantly, man.
That GIF with the pen and the papers on fire.
Yeah.
That's that intro, dude. Like, it is chills, and it's, I think, a very beautiful framing specifically for this particular story. I think the reason why I've watched this so many times is because it is such an enthralling movie, and there's not very many movies where you are dreading the next scene and the next scene and the next scene. Right. In a lot of the movies you go back and watch regularly, you are excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this scene that's coming up. This scene's so sick.
Mm-hmm.
The hero is gonna do this cool thing, and he's gonna like absolutely just aura farm on these fools, and it's gonna be awesome. Or, you know, oh, this is really sick emotional scene. This is just so powerful. And this movie, I don't think there's ever been a movie that people have loved so much, that so constantly, even on the 17th watch, has you saying, no, don't trust him. No, don't do that. No, don't go there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of these things, like, stop for a second, think, like, all of these things, you are not saying to any other movie that you love this much.
No.
If you were saying this to any other movie as you're watching it, you're like, you think usually if you're saying that, it's usually because that is such an uncharacteristic choice, or oh, this is such a stupid choice for this film. This is an undeniable path.
Mm-hmm.
We have to reach this world. But going in this movie and a lot of some of the early stuff, we're in this world.
Yep.
It's a better world. And what you are watching is the decisions that spiral this world down into this one.
Yeah, it's kind of
And
like...
you know you have to reach this one.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yet
hammer
you
and
want-
chisel meeting
yet
stone.
Yet the whole time, not only are you rooting for this world, for it to not become this world, the whole time you're rooting for this world.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you know that will not happen.
Nope.
You know it cannot happen. But yet you believe in your heart of hearts that it could have played out differently.
Mm-hmm.
And that even as you watch it, that the outcome is not set, even though in the back of your head you know it is.
Right, and
How can you not adore a movie that does that to you?
especially
How can
something
you not
as
praise
simple.
a movie that does that to you?
Yeah, and it's something as simple as cause and effect. Everything happens because something caused it to happen, not just because it was meant to happen. And that's such a tough thing to capture storytelling wise when you already know how the story ends. So you have to pull the audience out and give them a suspension of disbelief, like, hey, maybe this is the ending when Anakin makes that choice to come back to the light. And that's what you're rooting for. Like you said, you're rooting for that the entire time. Even though you know how the story ends, the story's already over. This happened a long time ago. And it's that prelude from Matthew Stover perfectly, poetically states that. Like, no matter what you hope happens, wish you could alter so it would happen, it's done. And you have to go through it again. It's the worst thing in the world, man. Such a dreading feeling. And to me, it feels like you're the stone and it's being carved out of you. The hope is being slowly eroded from you. And it wants you to feel so hopeless. And that's why it's such a great movie, because literally, what's the next movie called, Bolt?
A New Hope.
Right, so
Star Wars.
that hole that they dug out of you gets filled instantly. So no matter what.
Instantly, there's a 19-year gap, dude.
There is.
There was not very much hope for a very long time.
Right. But 19 years in the grand scheme of things. The evil empire lasted 22 years, 23 years. In the grand scheme of things, like, they had to find that hope from somewhere. And this movie shows that at the tail end. And I guess we're working backwards here, but that's fine. When Anakin's becoming Vader, and when Anakin goes into the suit, that's the symbolism of this guy is dead. And this is who he is now. It's kind of like a butterfly going back into their cocoon. Anakin's cocoon, the thing that was holding him back, was his anger, was his rage. They didn't let me go see my mother. They didn't let me free her. You assigned me to a master who didn't want me. This guy didn't like me. He shaked my hand when I met him with the hand that he scratched his nuts with. Like, this guy hates me. He doesn't want me. And Obi-Wan didn't want Anakin. But they were paired together by a promise from each of their father figures. Qui-Gon Jinn. So in that case, they really are brothers. And this is a story about one brother watching his younger, far, you know, it's me basically, the younger, more handsome, more talented brother, like go out and lose himself in what he's doing. And what is he doing? He's fighting a war for people that wouldn't save him as a kid. He's fighting a war for people who wouldn't abolish slavery in the Outer Rim because they didn't want to interfere with Hutt space, because they just wanted their trade lanes, you know? Anakin was fighting a war for the literal political system that he grew up hating. And how could you not lose yourself in something like that? And this isn't to say that the decision that he made was wrong, or right, because I think it's inherently wrong. I'm just saying, as a human being, when he is going into that cocoon, he's dying. Anakin Skywalker really did die right there. I think he was being honest with Obi-Wan when he said that he killed Anakin, because I think that's him taking accountability, even though it's in a sinister way. It's a double-edged sword. Like, he knows, Anakin always knew this is not who the fuck he is, but he was just drawn to it because it was the power that he needed, or he thought he needed, but ultimately it was the power that put him there in the first place. While Anakin's dying, Luke and Leia are being born. Anakin's in a very dark, black room. Very blacked out. Leia and Luke are coming out in a very well-lit, you know, hospital room that looks all nice and fancy and stuff. And it's on a white moon as well. It's on a white moon. And it just shows where there's darkness, there's always going to be light great enough to triumph over it. And in this book, we see that the strongest of strong dark, it still can't extinguish the strongest of strong light. When you really look at it, Obi-Wan and Yoda fighting Anakin and, I should say, Vader and Sidious, fighting the two Sith Lords, they really came out on top. The Jedi lost for sure, but persevering through, I would say, I guess, drawing, because both sides left alive, no one of the four died. It kept the Jedi alive. It kept the hope alive for A New Hope. And that's kind of like, it's kind of like the only bright spot that you get from this movie that shows you such highs and then just crashes down. The only like glimmer of, you know, we got blown out 13-2, but my shortstop was 3 for 4 with a RBI double. The only glimmer of hope is that Luke and Leia are alive. Obi-Wan and Yoda are alive, but Padme's dead. The Jedi Order, as we knew it, is dead. Anakin Skywalker is dead. So there's a lot of dark that sits on top of that light and does make it really hard to see. But it's one of those generational movies, man. It really is.
No, I mean, I think in a lot of ways, as we kind of do more of these episodes, I think some of the breakdowns of these episodes are going to be a bit shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Not because there's less talk about this movie, but because we've kind of said some of what there is to say already, and kind of some of our thoughts on Star Wars as a whole and what these movies meant. And this is, yeah, this, like I said, the beautiful thing about a prequel that is intended, that is not a long far off prequel, that is like a directly connected prequel, right?
Mhm.
Is that you know where it's going, but it's taking you on the story of how you got to where the story even begins, right? And
which doesn't happen too often. We don't get
Yeah.
too many like prequels these days.
but and certainly not like this. But I mean, Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace are, again, really just exposition
Yeah.
for this movie. I'd say you don't have to watch the first two. They're important, but if you want to just say give someone the what do you need to be able to watch Star Wars, right? And you had to narrow it down to
3,
as little
4,
as
5,
possible.
6.
I wouldn't even say 5. I'd say you could get away with not saying 5. 3, 4, 6. I think you could get away with. I think you could skip 5. I think if you were to narrow it to 3 movies, I think you would show them 3, show them 4, show them 6. And I think you could skip over
I
5.
think 5's vital, dude. I think 5's huge because
Okay, yeah, I guess there
it's
there
Luke's
is the,
training.
bomb, and there is the lore bomb of "I'm your father,"
right.
Which of course you do already. Well,
You do know.
you already
Luke
know
doesn't
that,
though.
but Luke doesn't know that. So I guess that would be important. But so I guess if you're just throwing 3 movies, just show them the original trilogy. But I mean, Episode 3 is a very essential film.
Honestly, tag on Rogue One, tag on Andor.
Tag on Rogue One and Andor. Like,
Yeah.
That's taking away the whole like.
So would you
slowing it
say-
down. Andor alone is like might be more content than all 4 of those movies just because it's a very long form TV show.
Would you say that Phantom Menace is the like cut off that you could really get away with? Like trimming the fat, would you say that the Phantom Menace is the fat? Because the reason why I say that is because it's the thing that is so cool about Back to the Future is you go back and you see Marty's parents actually get together and how it happens. So if Luke Skywalker is our Marty McFly, George and I think it's Martha, might not be, but McFly, seeing them get together, and then you know how we got here to get Luke and Leia, you know?
Yeah.
So would you say Phantom Menace is the cutoff? Like you could trim the fat at Phantom Menace?
Maybe, but like it's not like it's an unessential movie. It's just that Revenge of the Sith does so much because again, it gets you there.
Mm-hmm.
It takes it in one movie, it in 2 hours, right? A little over 2 hours, completely destroys the world that was built in 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
and breaks it down into the world you find in 4.
You're right.
And
It had
or
a
it breaks
job
it
to
down
do.
into the pieces to where those pieces then get off-screen reassembled
Yeah.
into what we have for 4, right? But it completely shatters it.
This movie had a
And-
job to do, dude. And if you simulated doing that
Did it.
job 100 times, this is the best variant. Like, no one... You see a lot of rewrites for, like, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. I don't think people are doing how I would have wrote Revenge of the Sith.
And all the rewrites of Revenge of the Sith that you see, they are not rewrites that end in the same outcome.
No. It's like...
They are all rewrites that completely alter the outcome and what happens thereafter.
Yep.
Right? You do not see rewrites of, oh, hey, I wish that, this particular scene, this happened instead, right? Where it's like, oh, it didn't make sense for this character to behave in this way. It's like, no, I wish that Anakin didn't throw Mace out the window and didn't make the choice and that, he killed Palpatine then and there. That's the thing people wish, right? People wish that, he and Padme had been honest, right?
all of that stuff, right? No one who's going and doing rewrites of Revenge of the Sith, it's like I said, no movie makes you scream no at the characters in the way that so many times, yet still adore the movie the way this movie does. All the rewrites are happy endings. This is a Shakespearean tragedy of a movie.
It really is. And it really does make me want to watch more plays and stuff. You know? Because I'm sure that there's so many more different stories that just aren't getting told because they're not explosions and boobies. Like, there's so many stories that I want to learn and expand my horizons on. And that, like this, you could turn this in as anything, as a short film, as a commercial, as a play, as a musical, as a song. Like, this is the movie has the best music, has the best score, has the best acting, up and down. I just think it's the best. I really do. It is the bee's knees. It really is the bee's knees. And that's not even to talk about like the sick lightsaber fight that you do get. You get General Grievous, who had to be built up to be so important and such a dangerous being that they had to send their top guy. They had to bring in the closer, Obi-Wan Kenobi, to face the heart of their order for the Separatists, to make sure that Obi-Wan was away from Anakin so that Palpatine could slither on in and be there when Anakin probably just needed to talk to Obi-Wan, but he wasn't there. It's so well written, man, and it gets you from point A to point B, but holy crap, is the ride crazy. And it takes you for a ride. It really is, for my money, like the best story from pressing play to final credits that I feel is in any of the Star Wars movies. And it's so sad, but maybe that's why it's just such an extreme. It's such a contrast to what you usually get. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful movie. Where does this go in your ranking so far of the 3 movies that we've talked about?
I'm gonna go. Have we been doing this? I don't think we've been doing a power ranking as we go.
We are now. We're 3 in.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna do it now. We're 3 in. I think now's a good time to start it at 3.
Yeah.
3, 1, 2. First to third. 3, 1, 2. I'd say Revenge of the Sith wins it for me. Then Phantom Menace, then Attack of the Clones. I think I know where you're gonna land with this. I'm not gonna say it, but I think I know how this is gonna go.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3.
No, really?
Yeah.
But Attack of the Clones is your favorite, and we've been hyping up. How is Phantom Menace ending up on your top step here?
I loved it so much when I was a kid. And that's got to mean something, you know? Like that was the movie that I gravitated towards anytime. Yeah, when I think about Star Wars, I think about my dad. I think about my family, and it's such a family thing for me. And I had the green Qui-Gon Jinn collapsible lightsaber. My brother had the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and for his birthday a couple of years ago, I found one on eBay for like $12-15. Had to snag it, so he still has it. He keeps it around because it just means a lot to us. And episode 1 was just my jam. Episode 2, it's got to be my favorite. It was my first movie in theaters. Had so much like LARP. I LARPed the hell out of that when I was a kid, man. Me and my buddies would all just pretend that we were Jedi in the Coliseum, fighting battle droids with Nerf guns and stuff. So fun. And I love Revenge of the Sith. I really do. It's just the hardest one for me to watch because it's a gut-wrenching story. So if I'm watching it the least, I feel I have to put it below the other two for the time being.
I mean, in fairness, the reason why I have watched it the most of any Star Wars film is because I literally just have it physically saved to my phone.
Yeah, okay.
I have Revenge of the Sith, all 2 hours and 20 minutes and 6 seconds in my phone's camera roll. whole ass movie in the camera roll. Okay?
Which is insane. That is nuts.
And that's part of why I watch the most. But and so I just will find myself extremely bored, and I'll just watch it.
Yeah.
Because I can just watch it anytime I want. It's just saved in my phone. As long as I have my phone, I don't even need an internet connection. I can just watch it.
Physical. I count that as physical media, chat. Lock into physical media, man. Wherever this guy is, as long as his phone has 2% battery, he can watch Revenge of the Sith wherever he is. That's sick. That's sick.
And I love the movie. And I mean, granted, if I could put some other movies into my camera roll, I would definitely do it. But I don't need to, because I love this movie. It's a great movie. And it just, like I said, I don't think there's ever been a movie that is so sad that I could watch this many times.
Literally.
And I don't think it's just my personal Star Wars bias.
No, I think it's
Right.
I think it's got to be at least a top
even
3.
my Star Wars bias can't save The Last Jedi, right?
But my book will, I promise you guys. I promise.
And like Rogue One, dang, that movie is sad, bro. And
Yeah.
like you go back and watch Andor, like I don't know, like
You forget
this point,
sometimes.
Andor's been out for, Andor season 2. It's been out for like the better part of a year now.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't watched it, what are you doing?
Came out in
And
March,
cover your
fellas.
ears. But like, man, knowing that Cassian has a kid that he never even got to know, that he didn't even know ever existed, that makes and knowing that he was gonna probably get to go find out that he was a dad after that was all over, and he just dies. The weight that Andor added to that sacrifice, it just like going back and rewatching the movie, it's just like it hurts. That ending hurts because you know what's about to happen, and it's, dude, tragic storytelling. We hate it, but it is. But when it's done well, it is some of the best storytelling there is, because, like, look, when you can hear the music you can hear the music start to cue in, and you know that the protagonist is about to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's the outcome that's expected. And the beauty of tragedies is it's not the outcome that's expected in a lot of cases.
Right.
And it stinks, right? I mean, thinking about like, one that a lot of people are going to know, Avengers Infinity War, right? That movie ends in a rough place. I think it is very similar in a way to how Revenge of the Sith ends, right? Where half the Avengers just freaking died. Half of everyone just died, right? And the whole next movie's about bringing them back, right? But the difference is the whole time you're still thinking they're gonna find some way to pull this from the ashes of defeat, which they do eventually, but not in that movie. This movie, again, you go into it knowing full well what we have to get to.
Dude, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to stomach when Cal Kestis dies, bro.
And like, oh my gosh, like, man, when tragedy is well written, it sucks, but it's maybe one of the most beautiful parts of storytelling is killing a character, killing an idea well. There's a reason why why this guy who, I mean, conspiracy theorists say it wasn't even a dude. There'd be people saying Shakespeare wasn't real. You hear these theories?
No, I have not.
That there's no way that the person William Shakespeare was real, because there's no way he could have gotten the education, given where he was from, to have written all these things. William Shakespeare was actually a group of like 50 people who like came together and wrote all this stuff. There are people who like legitimately believe that. I think it's very funny.
Stop it.
But
Stop it.
The reason why we still study the writings of Shakespeare in schools today is because they are excellent, because they are eloquent. But they're like all tragedies. Like all of them.
All different genres of tragedy too.
But yet we read all of them, and they're all phenomenal. I think tragedy is a very difficult thing to do well. And that's why most of what you watch isn't a tragedy. You see these epic, fantastical stories that have a happy ending, and even the ones that have a sad ending, it's usually a cliffhanger to set up the ultimate happy ending, right? Or even if there is like a sacrifice, like, feels right, and it feels justified, and it feels earned, right? It doesn't feel like this person just died, right? This is just straight up tragedy. You could have had a very, very different galaxy where the Republic probably ends up reforming itself a little bit after all of this. And, they're like, we should probably set up a system of government where a freaking Sith Lord can't just weasel his way into like our highest power and then give himself all this power and then, actually be the dude he really is. They'd probably like, that's not too smart. We should probably change some things, right? Or maybe knowing and that's a very positive outlook. Maybe even then the Republic would have still been like, oh, guess we need a new Supreme Chancellor now because that last guy was pretty bad. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, there is it's beautiful, and I love this movie. I love this movie. That's why I've got to put it in my number one. Yeah.
I can't wait for next week though for A New Hope. Because it's gonna be a completely different feeling, completely different breakdown.
It really is.
But it'll be sweet. I look forward to it. That's gonna do it for us for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Probably the longest episode this season so far. Shout out to Bolt for sticking with us past midnight. We're gonna get him out of here. We love you all. Send in your.
I'll be up for another like hour or two, anyways.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Send us your mailbag questions and enjoy your week from Evan Furry and myself. This is Archives Podcast. Have a great one. Peace out.